Greetings to the great students in the 897 experience. This is your instructor, Dr. Larry Asplund, coming to you again, this time to welcome you to week 8. As you know, week 8 is still part of module 3, which is all about the BTH Foundation section of the proposal that you have been working on. It's, like the summary of the literature. It's a 3-week process for both of those. And so we are starting now to look at the possibility of completing this very, very important section of your proposal. So in terms of catching up, I'm almost complete with the summary of the literature documents, providing you with detailed feedback. You remember my goal is for you to have a copy and paste ready document to simply put into your template at the end when we get to the need to provide actually a draft of the entire proposal. You'll be ready when it comes to the summary of the literature. So I'm being extra picky for that reason. Rather than waiting till the end of the process to be picky, I thought it would be better to just kind of, work hard at it together as we do these sections, and that way it will be done. It'll be behind you. Once you have a final version of your BTH foundations, you'll be most of the way home. So I'm looking forward to getting there with you. So if you haven't sent me revisions yet, in some cases, a couple of you, I made recommendations for revisions. If you haven't sent me your final revised copy of the summary of the literature document, please do so ASAP so I can then provide you, with a final copy for your purposes. Module 3, as you know, is all about the BTH foundations, and the 3 weeks, of course, are this. Week 6, you were once again reviewing all relevant research notes. But this time with very specific focus on the kinds of notes you wanted to be able to organize. And so week 7, you reflected that organization with some ideas about a possible outline. That was just another opportunity for you to get ready to write. So once you have your outline that you feel is really, really good, and then you kind of have grouped under those headings your key sources, then you'll be definitely ready to compose this section of the proposal. So here we are coming into week 8. This is when you are actually going to write the BTH Foundation section of the proposal. And once again, as you do so, as you submit it, I'll indicate for you that I have received it. I will mark the assignment as complete because it really is in that sense, but I will immediately go to work for you. And we'll review it in detail and provide you feedback that will lead you to a final copy at the end of our process. And so the week 8 assignment, here we are coming into week 8, is to submit a draft of the BTH Foundation section. You remember the biblical foundation describes your use of scripture to justify the way you are addressing your problem. Now, it also is an opportunity to demonstrate your ability to do biblical studies in that sense. And so it is kind of a unique discipline, but you're specifically focused, of course, on your project. The theological foundation is providing citations from theologians, ancient and modern, that have a doctrine that's relevant to your focus. And particularly if you are in a tradition, most of you are, a tradition where you have a theological kind of a basis for what you do, then I think it's good to access that as well, because that is very much in the context that you are researching. And then the historical foundation will provide relevant examples from past church history as well as a more contemporary history. And once again, in your context, in your tradition, see if you can find any examples of anyone trying to do something kind of like what you're trying to do. Being able to unpack those examples will be extremely helpful. And it will also, once again, show that you really have done your homework in terms of background research for your ministry project. Of course, once again, the standard requirements for this section, as was true of the summary of the literature, 10 to 12 pages minimum. You know, you can go up to 15. If you hit 20 and then start going over 20, I probably will ask you to do more summarizing. A minimum of 10 to 12 relevant sources cited. Remember to conform to Turabian. This is your opportunity in 897. This is your opportunity to thoroughly review Turabian 9th edition, because I have to tell you, your chair is not going to, other than saying, by the way, you know, you haven't looked at your Turabian manual in a while, so you need to go back and do that some more. I'm going to be more picky. I'm going to say, you know, you need to check out footnote formatting. You need to, you know, one thing or another, heading formatting. This is our opportunity for you to do the review. So make sure you're doing that as you go. Remember the Microsoft Word resources, the Grammarly resources that I have given to you in course resources. That is very important. One of the things students don't always factor in well enough is whether or not Grammarly has been used properly when it comes to running your final document through Grammarly. Your chair and the members of your committee will turn on Grammarly when they receive your chapter, and they will know. So it's better for us to give attention to those kinds of details ahead of time, so it's not burdensome for you. Once you start doing your project research and you start composing the chapters of your dissertation, you kind of want to have all that stuff in the background so you can just focus on the big project. You know, I love the fact that we are taking some time to really apply the skills that you have been learning as seminary students, as graduate students, in your master's program. For some of you, maybe some undergraduate work as well. Certainly in your doctoral program, we are going to now take advantage and demonstrate that you really have learned. You've gotten your head around these very important skills when it comes to biblical studies and Christian theology and church history. So what a great opportunity to do that. This is our chance to work at it in the context of the proposal. You're not writing chapter 3, that will come. But in the context of the proposal, we want to just put your best foot forward. So I'm looking forward to partnering with you once again in this process. As always, don't hesitate to let me know if you have any questions along the way. So God bless everybody. Just have a great week.